Welcome everybody to Everybody's Got a Podcast. I am your host T Dot, and today's episode is why everybody has a podcast. And that seems to be the question. Why does everybody have a podcast nowadays? Hell, why do I have a podcast now? Well, because, the world is changing, and that seems to be a lucrative business. And not only to be lucrative, it's also another form of getting out your content. So to tell a little bit about myself, I have a background in animation. I do have an animation channel. If you want to go over there and support or look around and see what you see, if you like the content or not, it's at youtube.com/animated T Dot. That's animated T Dot. So I have a background in animation. I just recently quit my job in order to pursue that background in animation, and have found it to be very difficult for various reasons. The most common reason is that everybody, or not everybody, most people don't want to pay for your services when it comes to animation. And I think that's partly due to my fault, because I'm in the wrong market. I just now realized that. I'm in the market of, I'm marketing to individuals rather than marketing to companies saying, hey, let me help you out with this type of animation. But yeah, so that's about it on that. And prior to me quitting my job, I used to do delivery services for a delivery company, as you would expect. So, that's one reason why I have a podcast, is to, hey, to use another avenue. We have all these social medias. We have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I think the Chinese version of Twitter is like Weebly or something. I mean, it's just a vast amount of social media, but those are the main ones, and I use all of them. I use Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Animated T Dot. You can find me on YouTube, Animated T Dot. Instagram, Animated T Dot. Twitter, Animated T Dot. And I've been using various ways to promote and reach a broader audience. And I also started this because I feel I have a lot to say. When I have conversations with a few of my friends, it tends to get long-winded, and you have one of those conversations and you be like, oh, it's just shooting the breeze, and then next thing you know, 3 hours then pass, and we've delved on some topics that you'd be like, whoa, that you wouldn't even think it would go that deep, like talking about where fucking chicken come from, and all the various types of diseases or whatever comes from chicken, or how good it is opposed to beef. So, things like that. So I think I can provide another avenue, or another perspective rather, as to how things work, or just broaden the opinion spectrum, so to speak, when it comes to certain subjects. Now, in this podcast, I will be covering a variety of things. It'll be a little dark humor in there. It'll be a little bit of sensitive topics in there, so if you're the squeamish type or the super sensitive type, this might not be the podcast for you. And I do enjoy you guys listening, and I appreciate you guys listening if you listen up to this point, and for even clicking on here, I appreciate you. So Everybody's Got a Podcast. I decided to name that because I was driving one day, I was like, everybody's got a podcast nowadays. If you look on any platform, mainly iTunes and SoundCloud, everybody's literally got a podcast. So that's why I was like, hell, I'm going to name my podcast that. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And I just recently watched Gary Vaynerchuk, if you know who that guy is. One of his videos was just saying, hey, you know, why not? Why not? Why not? Meaning, why not? Just go ahead and do it. What's the worst can happen? You'll get a no, you'll fail. Well, what happens when you fail? Well, what happens when you fall off a bike? You get up and get back on and figure out how to ride it. You learn how to ride it. The same thing with anything in life. You get up through your failure, through your fall, dust yourself off, get back on the bike, and plow through it. And before you know it, you're doing wheelies, jumping over ramps, creating bigger ramps, jumping even longer distances, doing bunny hops and all kind of flips and tricks, and you wouldn't even got there if you had to just gave up that first time you fell. So I think, hey, why not? What's the worst that can happen? And you know, this is not my first rodeo as far as podcasts are concerned. I've done a podcast with a few of my friends before called Illmerica, and it might still be on SoundCloud. This will be posted on SoundCloud, as well as I'll try to get it posted on iTunes when I read all the instructions that come along with that. So I just want to say, you know, welcome everybody. Next week's episode will be, speaking on episodes, I'll try to make a concerted effort to be consistently output these on Monday, so you have the whole week to listen to them and leave your comments, leave your feedback. But you know, next week's episode, I got a few topics planned, and we'll see. You know, I don't want to make these too long, and I don't want to make them too short. So I think this is a fairly good start. Even though this whole time I've been talking about me, I haven't even talked about why everybody has a podcast, which I kind of did touch on, but not in depth. And I mean, you know, it's one of those things that everybody's doing it now, and people are just like, why not? You know, just like me, why not? Why not do it? Why not have another avenue? And I've seen advertisement within the past couple months promoting or searching for people to host podcasts. And you know, it got me thinking, like, well, if they're starting to pay people for this, it must be some real lucrative deals out there. So I gotta look into that. I gotta tap into that. And it was one thing, you know, because I do a lot of research online, and one thing that really struck out during my research, you know, they say that the average millionaire, or most millionaires, have multiple streams of income. So they have between like 5 and 7 streams of income, whereas the average person has 1, maybe 2. But for the most part, it's 1. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try and have multiple streams of income, so in the future, I don't have to worry, hey, you know, if I get fired from this job, I won't have any money. If I lose this job opportunity, I won't have any money. I could get, if this podcast gets sponsored, hey, I got a sponsorship. I got money coming in from the sponsors. Or even if this podcast doesn't get sponsored, hey, I got merchandise that I can sell, and hopefully you guys will buy. You know, it's an option, you know, or, you know, you can go down the YouTube route, which is a failing system. Well, no, I wouldn't say a failing system. It's a ever-evolving system that you got to play. If you don't know the ins and outs, and if you wasn't there at a certain point in time, which is like 2013 and before, then you pretty much, it's a gamble trying to get on YouTube and make a substantial living off of it. So, you know, and I'm trying that avenue as well, you know, and it's a lot of work that goes into it. It's more work that goes into YouTube, making YouTube videos, than it does make this podcast. Like this podcast, I set up within an hour and started recording. And once I'm done recording, that's it. You know, I just gotta make a few edits and bam, it's online. That being said, I have a number of guests. If you like this, let me know. Leave it in the comments. Whatever platform you hear it on, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook, everything. You know, just let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you like this, if you want to hear more topics, if you want me to expand more, if you want more guests, let me know. If you don't like my voice, let me know. If you do like my voice, let me know. So that being said, this has been Everybody's Got a Podcast. I'm your host, T-Dot, and I'll see you soon.